So Eddie Wilson and John Callahan advance. They'll face off against the winner of Canzanetti and Eric Schumann, father of Greg, who played Mark Lamont and Brad Gerla. This match was over from the start. Canzo and Schumann took control early and didn't relinquish the lead as they advanced. Gerla was very frustrated throughout the day, at one point referring to Eric Schumann as a grumpy old man. We did capture that on camera, but I figured I'd just relay the message to you quickly. We caught up with the winners after the match, Eric Schumann and Rich Canzanetti, but when I told them that they had, and when I asked them how they felt about the fact that the critics thought they had zero chance of advancing past the second round, no matter who they faced, they broke my camera, so we lost that footage. But in the second round, it's going to be Fast Eddie Wilson and John Callahan versus Canzo and Schumann. Actually, should be a good match, but Eddie Wilson's going to cruise to the Sweet 16 this year. We'll see you in the clubhouse. You'll get the Evite for the party. In other news in the D flight, Kirschenbaum and Prizer fall to Mike Foster and Paul Rowan 6 and 5. This was over quick. Kershey, former tennis chair, big contributor to the Rolling Hills Country Club, and a longtime member, and partnered up with a great guy, David Prizer. But Mike Foster and Paul Rowan were too tough. 6 and 5. They advanced to play the winner of Paul Kaufman and Calabrese versus Dan Frank and Jonathan Fleisig. And I'm not even going to discuss that matchup. It hasn't been played yet. They got a rain extension. It's being played in a couple days. But Calabrese and Kaufman are going to advance 7 and 6, and they're going to play Mike Foster and Paul Rowan. And if you need U.S. Open tennis tickets, go to Mike Foster. We'll see you in the second round, guys. All right, your D flight's been wrapped up. We're moving on to the C flight, and I warn you, do not turn off the television. This is where it starts to get really good. Frank the Tank Ackerman teamed up with Brian, absolute character, Angarami. They faced off against the brothers Mendel, Gary and Steve. These guys run hotels all around the world, took time out of their busy schedule to play their first round match. We're going to pick it up. Actually, this is a great quote. Angarami, I roll up on him on 2. He says to me, I think I need to take a bong hit before I come out here. Now, questionable quote that I chose not to air, but I couldn't help relaying what was so easily relayed to me. Hang on one second. We're going to talk about Steve rallied as best he could. With a few pars out there, bringing them 2 down on 12. We're going to pick up the action there, where Angarami has a chip 2 up, and with an opportunity to chip it in for it to go up 3.
Third shot.
Go in.
It's good.
Very nice. 3 is good. He called it. Way to go.
Angarami 3 up, chips in to go 3 up on 12. Very subtle in the celebration, gathers up his clothes.
Nice birdie, Brian.
Mendel walks off, says nice birdie, but he's appalled.
A la 2010 Governor's Cup, when the Mendel brothers came back from down 4 with 5. Down 4 with 5 to win the match. Here they found themselves again. They rallied late. Steve parred 13 and 14. On 14, he hit a shot from 180 out within 3 inches. Picked it up. Picked up everybody's ball, and they were all of a sudden down 2 with a chance to compete and have a miraculous comeback. Angarami 3-putted from 6 feet on 16. This was the biggest collapse in Governor's Cup history in the making. However, they shut the door to win it 2 up. All right, we pick it up. Angarami and Frank the Tank Ackerman advance. They'll play the winner of Lieberman and Russell Fuchs against Matt Duffy and Henry Keating. They started on the back 9 in terrible conditions on this past Sunday, but Duffy came out firing. He parred 10. Henry Keating is partner part 11. They go up 2 right away. This looks like it was going to be a rudimentary match, but not so fast. Lieberman, he's a veteran. Sammy's a veteran. Him and Fuchs came firing back. They took the lead on Henry and Matt, but in the end, Duffy was too tough. He closed the coffin door on Russell Fuchs and Stan Lieberman. They beat him 1 up. They're going to advance to play Angarami and Frank the Tank. That's going to be a match not to be missed in round 32. Moving on. Okay, in other action, Keith Kaplan and Mike Greenberg take out David Sloan and Al 11. Due to celebrity presence, this was closed off to viewership, and we were unable to catch any footage from the match. But Mike Greenberg, all the way from Bristol at ESPN, and Keith Kaplan advanced. They'll play the winner of Clamage and Tom White versus Collier and Jonathan Andrew, which was a huge matchup. We caught up with Jim Clamage. He was a little camera shy in the serial line in the morning, but there was good reason for it. Yeah, obviously he had his game face on, was ready to play. Collier, though, Mark Collier, our tennis chair, and who's largely responsible for getting us tennis lights on the courts. They look beautiful. Collier came out inspired on 2, 3, and 4. He goes par, bogey, par on 2, 3, and 4 to go 3 up through 4 holes. I caught up with him. He said Jonathan Andrew hasn't arrived yet, referring to his partner, and I guess Collier was planning on it being a one-man show that day. However, there was a knock at the door on 5. Knock, knock, who's there? It's Tom White. It's birdie time. They go 2 down on hole number 5, making a charge. There was a little spark in Clamja's eye. I could tell he was ready to make a comeback, and there was no way he was throwing in the towel early. On 6, Tom White bogeys to bring him closer, down 1, and the back 9 belonged to Jim Teddy Bear Clamage. They won 1 up on 18. We're going to take you there, and as you can see, it was a large monkey off Clamage's back. It's been a while since he's notched a big win, and congratulations to Clamage and Tom White. They'll face off against Mike Greenberg and Keith Kaplan, and this one is going to be a doozy, and we will be there to cover it. That was inside the hole.
Thank you, man. That's right. You didn't smile for the camera.
Yeah, I did smile. You know what?
Credit to our opponents. They played well. Tom White played outstanding. Jimmy Clamage made shots we needed to. We needed to be better. They were better today. Good luck to them.
On the other side of the sea flight, Joe Corcoran teams up with Tom Sherman, a new member, great guy. Tom Sherman. They faced off against Matt Siegel and Bart Schulman, another animated member and good golfer. Sherman comes out firing, wants to make a statement. That he has arrived at Rolling Hills Country Club. They started off on a back 9 on number 10 in the pouring rain. Sherman goes par birdie on 10, 11, and 12. They take an early lead. I caught up with Shulman. He clearly thought they had been sandbagged, but they weren't going to give it up. They fought back. Siegel and Shulman played solid on the front 9, which was the second 9 of the round. And we're going to pick it up on the 19th hole when Siegel had this putt for the win.
No? That was it? Oh, I thought he got a stroke. That was it?
It was a seesaw battle. Ugly on top of uglier. Oh, yeah?
It's an ugly one.
The membership wants to know what's next for Joe Corcoran.
I'm going to hit a couple putts. I missed putts in the last 3 holes on the Governor's Cup. So I intend to make every putt from any distance.
So you're blaming the loss on your putting ability, and you're gonna say you weren't there for your partner.
That certainly wasn't the ability of our opponents, because they played like crap.
We'll see at the President's Cup, Joe. This was a classic finish, as you can see. Matt Siegel putts it in for the win. Bart Schulman was in great position, sitting in the sand trap in 2 on the left side of the green. However, it took him 6 shots to get out of there. After the match, when we thought he would have been thrilled that his partner bailed him out and won, he was yelling at a fan. There was a gallery that had gathered, and he wasn't happy that he was distracted in the sand trap by the gallery. And hence the reason for not parring the hole. But his partner picked him up. They will advance. We'll see you guys in round 2. Congratulations on the win. The next round matchup there is going to be Bart Schulman and Matt Siegel will face the winner of one of the best matches of the first round. I can't wait to tell you about it. All right, Schulman and Siegel in the second round will play the winner of Steve Sammy Samuels. They got a sandwich named after him at Carmen's shop. Please come back, Carmen. We're dying without you. Sammy and Andy Sawyer, who really couldn't care less whether he wins or loses, but one of the best guys in the draw. They faced off against Richard Kaplowitz and Ira Platt, one of the best Governor's Cup teams in history, runners-up last year. This was the match of the day, the match of the first round, I might say. It didn't start off too well when George, the caddy, ran over Kaplowitz's ball. That rattled him a little bit, and Sawyer's net eagle on one didn't help too much for the poise and the mental stamina of Kaplowitz and Platt. Certainly set the tone early. This was unbelievable from the start, but we're going to pick it up on 2. Sammy and Sawyer are 1 up, and Kaplowitz is already in for par, and this is Sammy from 35 feet to have the hole.
Oh,
good.
Nice half. Just hell in his face.
Huge putt on 2 by Sammy to keep him 1 up. Sammy came out on fire. He parred 4 and 6. They're now Steve Samuels and Andy Sawyer are up 4 through 6 against Ira Platt and Richard Kaplowitz. This is a major upset in the making. I'm surprised Sawyer was even able to focus out there because he's more concerned about what they're serving at the buffet than what he's hitting, which club he's choosing to hit each shot. And insider information from the clubhouse and the Golf Pro Shop has led us to believe that Kaplowitz has not been playing well in April and May, and it was clearly evident early on Sunday. But hold the phone. It was either time to shit or get off the pot for Platt and Kaplowitz, and they unloaded a storm. They stormed back to win the match on 18, and we've got some various clips, some great footage out there from Sawyer and the group that we're going to give to you now.
Big shot for Samuels here.
They got to cut down the trees. You can't have this like this. Because you got everything blocking my shot. You can't do that. Okay? You need fairway. You can't have woods. It's just freaking ridiculous. Damn thing. Just like the Lakers, so just be down by 10 and a half.
That's a pretty good victory though when you're down 4 after 7.
After 6. 4 down after 6, 1 down at the turn.
Yeah, shot on the...
Ira chipped in, didn't tell you? Chipped in on 9.
That was
Chipped in on 9.
One of my, no, for par.
for par. Yeah, it was huge.
It was shot. Won the hole.
Richie,
And so I went up to him.
do you think
told him that
the speed at which
that
Sawyer
was
ate
all on.
his ice cream at the turn had anything to do with his drop-off, maybe a little food coma?
No, the putt, when he putted 30 yards,
30 yards.
16 to 4 feet and made a 4 for 3 is one of the great shots in the Governor's Cup history.
It's just got to be...
He says putter and the caddy says, what?
The only reason they lost on 18 is because he was out of his putting range at 60 yards.
I figure any day you spend an afternoon with Sawyer Sawyer and Sammy on the golf course is a privileged Sunday afternoon, no?
We had a great time.
Yeah,
Good
guys. Yeah, that was a great match. We had a grind. We really ground.
The Platt-Kaplowitz March begins. 2011.
Listen, we've been snooking in the first round also before.
Yes. We are either out in the first round or we're in the finals.
Wow, Richie Kaplowitz and Ira Platt, they fight off Sammy and Sawyer. to win the match and advance. They're going to face off against Bart Shulman and Matt Siegel in the second round. This is a huge opportunity for Shulman and Siegel. It could be their coming out party, but I'm sorry to say I am the expert here, and this one's going to be over at the turn. We'll see you in the second round, gentlemen.